Hey, good evening, everybody. All right, let's get that out of the glare here a minute. All right, so we've had like lots and lots of calls, and like I said, I have been just busier than anybody could really possibly comprehend. I mean, the other day I was up 24 hours straight just trying to take care of calls and everything else. So I thought I would get back in here. I've got some prices figured out because I haven't even had even since I've checked in my wire and all that other good stuff. Well, I've just not had time to actually do any pricing on anything. I got everything in, got it checked in, uh, but I figured I would go ahead and set it up to where you guys could actually see the phone number. That way, you guys can text me. Hello, Chad Jolly. Hello, Kilden. Aloha. All right, so I've had like tons of calls and people asking, and like I said, I do have some materials in. For example, I have a small roll of the 8 gauge Teflon, or excuse me, not Teflon, 8 gauge uh, silicon wire. So got that in. You know, got a couple hundred feet of 8 gauge in the red and black. Like I said, you guys probably seen me do a video on that the other day. So unfortunately, I don't have the right glasses out here in the shop. I took those in the house, so you have to bear with me here a little bit. Hello, Warren. All right, so I know I had like a dozen different people, and trying to go back to everything, like I said, it has been a complete madhouse. But anyways, like I said, I do have a little bit of wire in. I did tell you guys that I would do some special pricing as far as on some of the Teflon wire. I've had one guy that, because he texted me here just the other night. So, like I said, I've got two rolls left, 16 gauge. Like I said, these are, I'll have to figure up as far as because I've got it figured up by the feet. Anyways, I got two rolls left as far as if you guys want to get in on that. These are in 100 meters. So I'll have to do the calculation, but I think that's like 300 and it's a little over 300 and almost 330 feet of wire. So I don't know if somebody needs that much or not. I do have smaller amounts that are available as far as that goes, but this is just kind of the Christmas thing. And then I ordered some really good RG316. So now I know I've got almost half of this that's already spoke for from a couple of the different builders. So, bear that in mind as well. Hello, Dallas, big country. Gary, hello, como estadias? Or, as my wife would say, ni hao, which is hello. Let's see. So it looks like we've got a lot of people that popped in here real quick. But anyways, I can't set everything on the desk, but like I said, I put my phone number in the other link just a little bit ago after I finally got everything figured up as far as off of the price list as far as with what I had to pay because I had to break down $375 worth of shipping into all the products that I ordered. Like I said, this is the leftover, as far as the silver, silver plated copper Teflon. Like I said, I've got two rolls left as far as that goes before I make any more orders. I don't think I'll make any more orders until after the first of the year, just because, which granted, usually after the first of the year, it goes back up again. Um, but like I said, I've been buying bulk just so that I can get a better price and pass it on to some of the builders. However, like I said, I have been selling to the general public as well. But like I said, got this in, opened it up and checked it out. Cut off a small sample, but very, very, very impressed with this. Like I said, great specs. I mean, it's the same as everything else as far as on the RG316, but I think from what I've seen, I think this is a little bit better as far as on the shielding feels a little bit heavier than the other stuff that I've gotten from right here in the U.S. But this company deals with aerospace technology, so their specifications are a little bit better than most. And we said you got to know where to buy from and who to buy from over in China. So let me grab this. Be right back. Cut another piece here off because this is actually from the U.S. here. I just kind of wanted to see as far as that. Like I said, I haven't sat down and pulled it apart to do a strand count or anything like that, but like I said, it always, just felt a little thicker. So usually, if you kind of do a little bit of a pull apart here, you can kind of tell. No, about the same. Okay, yeah, looks about the same. So just it felt thicker on the outside as far as thought maybe it was a little heavier shield. Now this is still single shielded. Um, granted, we do have a double shielded that is available out there too. Most everybody just uses a single shield versus a double because it's easier to work with. But like I said, I've been pretty impressed with it. But good quality stuff. We can still sit there and put our irons on it and all that good stuff. You need about 300 feet of 7/8 hard line. Um, let's see, at the cost of, yeah, at the cost of RG213. Well, as far as on hard line, I do have a small piece of hard line that I probably won't use here, but you never know. 300 feet, you're gonna have to check with some of those other big guys on that stuff. Um, if you've got some specifications, I mean, I can get you a price on it based on what it would cost to get it over here. If you're interested in something like that, I haven't checked into that because that's such a huge cost. It's not something that I'm going to stock because it's not something I'm going to use every day. But hello, squirrel. It's just the stuff that I've got here that I'm going to use every day. That's the kind of stuff that I typically bulk up on. As far as like I said, with wire, coax, um, you know, 10 and 8 gauge wire. So, you know, all the, all the relatively everyday, big everyday type items, not necessarily cabinets, even though I do stock up on cabinets. So, oh man. But so they're looking to see what else I've got here. Uh, I've got endless amounts of stuff here stuck here, there, and everywhere. But anyways, I thought I would do this quick little video. That way, all the different people that were trying to get a hold of me, like I said, it's been an insane madhouse. I did accept the offer from the other company, which, like I said, that's going to give me more time here in the shop with you guys. Today, I've just been, like I said, taking care of pricing and everything else as far as with figuring all the stuff that I just got in. So that, and I'm still got to get three maids package taken care of as far as everything there. Let's see. After the first of the year, instead of quad. Well, I know I liked my cubicle quad when I ran it. Well, glad Harvey's still there with us. Yeah. Yeah, you've had that little critter for quite a while, which I haven't seen you do an update as far as on, the squirrel rescue thing in a while. But yeah, like I said, I've been trying to get everybody taken care of, and like I said, with the change of the new job going forward as far as after the first of the year, like I said, there's an insurmountable amount of paperwork and everything else. So I mean, I'm still going to be doing the same thing. I'm still going to be in a industrial, an industrial maintenance type format. Um, with the new company, like I said, it's just uh, you know better hours. It'll be day shift instead of the graveyard shift, which is going to be great because I mean my wife, when she gets over here, hopefully within the next 4 or 5 months, she's going to need me to take her everywhere until we can get the licensing and all that other good stuff taken care of and get her a car and what have you. So, I got any 20 to 26 gauge twisted Teflon. The 20 to 26, I carry just 22 only. Um, I can twist it together for you, but I've got just single strands on that, Chad. If that is something you're interested in, let me know though, because I can on the next time that I've got to place a order for any wire products. I mean, I can pre-order it already twisted. Um, but no, everything I've got, as far as that goes, is just a single, just the single strands. Nothing twisted except for 14 gauge wire. That's the only thing I have in a twisted format. So I keep spending your $6 on the lottery. Hope I can. Well, if you hit the lottery, please remember me. Of course, I'm sure everybody says that too, but yeah, Chad, I've got single strands like this. This is Three Maids favorite color, which, right now I've still got a couple of thousand feet of this. But I've got orange and red is probably the two that I have the largest amount in. Like I said, I usually go with a 22 gauge because it's kind of in the middle. I can still use this, and it's still just small enough I can get it into the circuit board of a radio. So that's the reason why I use that. Plus it'll handle several amps of current, so it's great for relays, fans, whatever else you're running off of it. But I do have this in Teflon as well. Um, don't have a super good price on this, but I've got so much back stock right now. I haven't ordered anything, but that's subject to change too. It's just if I burn down some of this, I can go from there. But I mean, I've got orange, white, and red are my three heaviest colors. Black, I don't really have, but just a little bit, so I don't have any of that to spare as far as on black. But I do have several colors that are available in that. Um, like I said, I haven't really ordered a lot of it yet because I've got, like I said, thousands of feet of it. Oh, Bruce, I see you popped in there. Let's see. Wire will add at least 200 watts to any build. Gator colors. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Let's see. You sell all orange 16 gauge? No, no, I haven't actually. I do still have. I know there's well over 100 feet that's here, and then I've got, if need be, I've got more that if there's more than what you need here, I can pull it off of my roll that I've got above my head too, because uh, I've actually got some more on order. But now, what I did do whenever I placed the order and got my 10 gauge and 8 gauge, which that was my primary focus. Now, one of the things that I did do, and it is a little different it's a different shade, but I did order some 16 or not 16, but excuse me, some 18 gauge. Like I said, the funds were getting kind of low, but I ordered some 18 gauge. I ordered 150 meters. So I know that, let's see, so 150 times three, little over 450 feet of 18 gauge, because there's a lot of things that, like I said, are kind of useful to use the 18 gauge with. Try to get a piece of that out here. But I haven't got this put on any spools or anything else. Like I said, I've been trying to take care of everything else instead of this, because I've still got customer stuff over here. So, I put myself, I put myself last. But like I said, it's just a slight difference. I don't even know if you can even see that on camera. It's a very slight difference in color on the 18 gauge versus the 16. But that's to be expected. I mean, I don't think that any company actually gets too exact as far as on their color matches. But yeah, I've still got orange, and actually, I see another. Actually, I see another roll of blue. So I've still got two blues. I thought I only had. I thought because I sold one the other day, so I guess I actually still have two more blue, and then the one red. Take some of the orange and some small wires, two different colors. Okay. Well, just get with me, Chad, as far as on what you need on that. Like I said, we can go from there. It takes some 18 too. Okay. Well, that'll give me an excuse to actually put the rest of it on a roll. But the 18 gauge, let's mic that out. Like I said, I mean, from what I've seen as far as on the specs and everything, it's actually a little heavier than what I normally get. And everything else has been, a few thousandths thicker from this company. So, yeah, so the 18 is 45 thousandths. Ordered me another pair of these. This one actually has the spring on it, which I prefer. 45 versus the 16 is at 58. But let me grab some of the 18 that I know is still US, wherever it's at. There we go. Snip off a piece of that. That way we can compare apples to apples. Oops. These things are just almost too sharp. Yep, so, yeah, same size. It's actually surprising. Yeah, it's actually surprising. Like I said, they've typically been higher on everything, so, but it's actually ideally the same size. So that's good. Let's see. Yeah, they put a little heavier, heavier insulation. But again, I think part of that also is the fact that the wire itself, whenever I measured that against the, like I said, some of the US stuff, Um, it's actually, this is actually physically bigger diameter as far as on the wire whenever I got it in. So, um, not by much, but that little extra makes the difference. But yeah, like I said, I can hook you up with the orange and blue for sure. I know you've been powering through that like crazy. Of course, jeez, you've had way too many big builds. Now, if I could just put you to work and get you to help me get things caught up here in my shop, I'd be in pretty good shape too. Let's see here. Some of the 18. make a make a fat cat care package and invoice me. I can actually do that if you want. Um, more, and if there's something that you want to order and pay for, and then have me ship it to him. I think I've still got his address here on hand. So, like I said, I've got that, and then I've got as far as, like I said, I mean, I've got my stock that I usually keep, and then I've got, like I said, some extras. So usually, whenever I make orders, it's because of everybody that's ordered from me. Because I mean, I've got a certain stock level that I like to keep for myself. I try to stay at least 3 to 6 months. If I was to be in here full time, working and building, that's what I base my normal stock for my personal self on. So I try to keep 3 to 6 months worth of stuff on hand at any given time for myself. And then I've still got a full case of these 30 amp relays here. You know, which I think Gatekeeper just premiered on his page. He's been buying some stuff off of me for retail. Um, you know, and he'll probably use those in some of the amplifiers and stuff that he's got as well. But I've got these and a 30 amp. I've got probably, and it's crazy because those actually cost me more money as far as to get them without the feet, you know, and then it kind of depends on what I'm doing, but I do still like the feet on the 30 amp relays. Again, it kind of depends on, you know, where and what I'm doing with it as far as that goes. But I've still got about a dozen of these left on hand too. As far as a lot more people are going to the heavier duty relays and stuff. And I know some people have asked as far as about the contacts on them. And again, I have these special made. I mean, they've still got the same numbers on them, but I actually have these custom made for me with my specifications. So one of the things that I do is I order them and specifically have them leave out any kind of an LED or diode, because that, especially when you're building, um, they're always oriented the wrong direction for the general builder. Um, so I try to do away with those, and then they use a nickel. They use a nickel and silver uh, mix as far as for the actual contacts that are on the inside of the relays, which is great, mainly because of the fact that since they've got a high nickel content, you don't have to worry about them burning out. They handle more of an arc load as far as whenever they actually clack together. So the relays, like I said, they're really really good. Like I said, knock on wood, I've not had any issues in the 4.5 years that I've dealt with this company. It's the reason why I keep buying them from them. We all ran into issues here 4 or 5 years ago, and like I said, I went on the hunt. I actually stumbled across these as far as through one of my suppliers here in the U.S. And just for the regular double pole relays, these were like 20 some bucks a piece. But I was at the point where it didn't matter what the cost was. I wanted a good relay. So, I know there are some that you can buy through a couple different Japanese companies as well. And one of the interesting things is even some of the Japanese relays are actually made in China because they can't produce them in the mass quantities that we can get from over there. Like I said, a lot of it is getting hooked up with the right suppliers that will deal with you, and that's the reason why I usually order. I was ordering a year and a half supply at a time. One time I ordered 2 years worth of relays, and it was just so many that I had on hand. But I got the quality that I was wanting. So that's the reason why I decided to try to get with some of my other friends that are builders, and try to pass on some savings to them, so I don't have an enormous amount. That way I can keep a realistic stock for myself without having to store everything, and like I said, buy, a couple of years worth of supplies at a time, instead of just, 6 months. Chad can tell you as well, which his shop is almost 2.5 times the size that I work out of. And even that guy runs out of room, you know. He's got a very micro-sized area for retail as far as that. Whenever I was over there to visit with him, um, and then his work area itself is, like I said, his work area is at least double my size. So we all run out of room, and we just don't have enough room to store everything that we can buy in large quantities, so we can kind of keep pricing and everything at a decent level. So the only way we're able to compete with different people and different prices and what have you is to do what I'm doing here is buying in bulk, and then passing the savings on to a couple of other people. So all right, let me get this set over there. Just seen a text message. I shouldn't say seen it, but heard it. Yeah, I haven't even had breakfast yet this morning, so I know some of you guys are on. Okay, that didn't even anything to pertain to this. If you had a free minute to talk, if not, it's okay. 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 So I know some of you are friends with me as far as on Facebook. Some of you are obviously friends here on YouTube as well. But like I said, I've got my information here. I've also got it in the description as far as if you guys are interested. So, anyways, so that's all we're trying to mainly do is just try to free up some room. Like I said, with some of the extra, I've got one drawer that's all that's as far as in my cabinet. I've got one drawer that I keep all my stock in. So it's just like I've got a few of the orange relays left. These are 8 amp relays, and I've actually started getting these custom made for me too, which is great. So the little 8 amp relays, these are vacuum sealed relays. So bear that in mind. Vacuum sealed relay can actually hold more voltage and more current on the contacts. But I ordered about 100 of these in. So alrighty. What do we got going on here? Let's see. Well, the 30 amp relays, I've got two different variations of them. But yes, the ones that have the metal feet are 30 amp relays. Yeah, yeah, that's my oh crap alarm. But yeah, the 10 amp, an 8 pill. There again, I've ran you know 8 pill amps on the 10 amp relays off and on for years, and knock on wood, not had any problems. But yeah, 8 amp, that is the cutoff. Whenever you're using relays, up to an 8 pill on a 10 amp relay, mainly because of the fact that you can only push so much through those. RF is a little different than regular voltage, so you can get by with a few more uh, differences. Whenever you're choosing different products. I mean, it depends on what mood I'm in as to what I'll use. Technically, you know, technically on a 4 pill, you can get by with almost those small black relays. Technically, on a 4 pill, um, where I've done repair work, I've had to go back because of the way it was designed. I couldn't use a bigger relay, and I've done that, and they'll run 5, 6, 7 years with no issues. So, um, there again, I still like to always build a little heavier than I need to, but sometimes I go way overboard too. 43,000, 16 volts. 43,000, that's probably 43,000 microfarad. Yeah, yeah. And when you're doing the biasing, Chad, yeah, that's usually what I'll do as well. Is go to the 10 amp if I'm doing the biasing, just because of the fact that you're crowding, uh, you're crowding the board already because you've got an insurmountable amount of extra parts when you go through and start doing that. But I haven't seen three made in there, but uh, I'm starting him a care package. Got him some test leads. Went ahead and figured I'd send him a few more the orange relays since he likes that. I've got him a little bit of a care package started for some different various sizes of wire, some 316 coax because I know he's out, and right now he's been strapped for cash with everything that's been going on. So figured I'd help him out here a little bit and send him some good goodies. I got some other stuff for him too, but and I still have to call this young lady, or at least send her a message before I leave for work. I know he was running low on some LEDs, so whenever he made his little bitty order for rubber feet, and that's something else I don't have a lot of, mainly because of the fact that I've just not had any calls for them. But that's something that you know I can order and have in about 2 weeks. But if I buy large quantities, which may get in on that with one or two of the other builders, if they need some feet, I can get these I can get these and sell these for almost half the cost of what you're buying these from other distributors. So, especially if I'm buying like 500 feet at a time, quite literally 500 feet. um, but I usually order like 250 at a time for myself. But I know there's several people that they've talked about it, and that's just like Chad, I mean, he's got the hook up on a couple of different things, that he's been selling, and we all try to work with each other because that's how we're, that's how we're trying to get some of the prices down is, to get together, who's found what, where, you know, who, what, when, where, why, and how, but to kind of get together as a, um, you know, as a co-op, if you will, as far as for parts, so that we can kind of keep our prices from just keep going up and up and up. There are some things that we just cannot control the prices of, but if we can buy in bulk, which is what I've been trying to do, I can drive the prices down a little bit for, uh, the overall expense for two or three builders. Good evening time, Jeremy. Well, if you're referring to a 8 pill amplifier, doesn't matter whether it's a base or a mobile in regards to the relay, it's the same. So, yeah. And I am actually glad that when I went over and visited Chad, I'm actually glad that you know he got me to try using these again because this has actually been this has actually been about the best way as far as on the Teflon that I found to strip it. Um, is to use these. So really hadn't thought about it as far as since the days of car audio, um, back in the '90s. So, like I said, that's actually been great because that beats the heck out of the way I was doing it. Oh man, yeah, yeah. And the new ones that I bought off of Amazon, which is the orange handle, and if I'd have thought about it, I'd have went ahead and bought a second pair. Um, since these are orange, I'd have bought a second pair just to send to early. Because they're actually inexpensive, but these are like, stupid sharp. Um, when you get into something small like this here, I don't know if I can do it without cutting through it the first time or not. Yep, because it's actually hard to feel how hard I've got cut down on it. But I bought a pair actually after I got home and with my visit with you. I actually bought a pair just exactly like what you've got, which is a pair of Kleins. And the only thing I don't like about them is the fact that they don't have the spring on them. And, that spring tension kind of helps to keep you from making a bad flub up, if you will, because it helps you keep that pressure from going too far. So I went through and I ordered another pair. I really didn't want to buy a cheap pair. I wanted to stay kind of with the higher grade, but yeah, I'm going to keep these, but I think I'm going to take the other ones that are wore out from 20 some years ago. I'm going to try to drill out the rivets, and I'll just dismantle these and take this spring off. Since they're already pre-drilled here, I'm going to see whether or not I can't just put me a couple of small rivets or make me some rivets or something, and see if I can't transfer this spring over to this. That's kind of the thoughtful goal, anyways, that I've got. Just don't know if I can get by doing that or not. I'm gonna try to do that. So that's the only reason why I've not put those in the file 13. But yeah, it didn't take long to actually kind of get back into using a pair of those. Um, I actually looked at I actually looked at a pair of strippers and I almost bought them, but they were like $350, but they said they were designed specifically for Teflon. And the only major problem with them is the fact that you have to plug them into the wall because they're electric. You have to plug them into the wall, and they clamp down on the wire, you know, just um, just in the format of one of the little other cheap pairs, where they clamp down off to the side and then you pull it off. But they are heated. They're heated just like you would a pair of, or just like your soldering iron. They're heated, and basically what it amounts to is it just that heat will soften the Teflon a little bit, just make it easier to pull off. Um, and I really couldn't justify spending $350 and having another cord in the way. It just that just didn't seem like a practical solution, for trying to find a better method. 18 wheeler. Well, Chad, now that is incorrect. That statement. There is no such thing as base coax. Yes, there is. If you put it on the base, it becomes base coax. If you take that same coax and put it into the mobile, then it becomes mobile coax. Yeah, they're all different types and brands. Um, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, there is no real such thing, like he said, as a base coax or mobile coax. Coax is just what it is. There's just all different variations and configurations of what materials that it's made out of. But yeah, for an 18 wheeler or something like that, I mean, the LMR 400 would probably be my go to, just because it is Teflon. It'll hold up a little bit better, I think, as far as in the weather, just because of what it is. But there is actually one type of coax that is like an RG 393 that is recommended for indoor use only. Um, because of the type of sheathing that it has. But that is the only exception to the rule that I have seen. As far as on that. Yep, the bigger you go, the harder it is to work with. That is for sure. Well, now that's not totally untrue. So the people that I ordered the RG316 from sent me this. So, I haven't had a chance to actually, uh, run a few tests on it like I want to. I did get the PL259 put on it, but I can actually get this at a pretty realistic price. Um, However, for me to buy this and get the price down, I got to buy quite a bit of it. That's the only downside of it is they have a minimum order, so I have to order basically uh, 30 meters or close to equivalency of 100 feet of it. Um, but I can get this, and I can get it about $4 a foot less than what we've been seeing here in the U.S. But like I said, I have to buy 100 meter or at least 100 feet of it. So, but the 393, um, which I'd have to go back and download it again. But the specifications are actually slightly higher on this than the U.S. standard. Um, I think where it's like 0.69 for the RG393 as far as based off the mil spec, instead of 0.69, theirs is at point 0.7. So a little bit less loss. Uh, but yeah, I cut the end off of it, and was actually going to do some was actually going to try to do a review, but like I said, I've been so busy with trying to take care of everybody else. I've already sliced through that to check out the Teflon. I was going to check out and see the heat exposure that the outer sheath can handle, things like that. So that's what this piece here is for. They sent this to me to go ahead and see if I wanted to start ordering some of this from them. And like I said, I've been pleased with everything that I've got from the aerospace company over there. So, like I said, I don't think I'm going to have or see any issues with this either. Let's see. What do I need on my new antenna? Um, well, if I had 100 feet of this, I wouldn't kick it out of bed. Um, but I do need to get coax. As far as so that I can get my beams set up. They're still in the box. I did get the new antenna in the other day, but with the weather and everything else, it's going to be springtime before I get caught up enough to where I can get back to working on my own projects. But I definitely want to get my beams back up in the air. I've been without a set for 3 years. I actually gave the cubicle quad away the other day to Mr. Hillbilly, who'd come down and help me run the new feed line in here to the shop. Um, so he is actually putting that together. I think he's going to go ahead and try to run that, because it needed some repair work, needed some love. It's just, again, I've just been too stressed as far as trying to get everything taken care of with the new changeover that's going to be taking place for my job, and then taking care of you guys. So today I've just been out here, like I said, figuring up costs on everything. I know I had a bunch of you that wanted to get prices on different things. I've got one guy that I'll text him just before I leave for work here in a little bit. But yeah, I'd love to have some of this here in the shop, but at the cost of it, like I said, it's just not practical for me to stock it unless I get two or three people that want to buy some. But like I said, I can get it for about $4 a foot cheaper. But like I said, I have to buy 100 feet at a time. Instead of buying the 3, 6, 9, 12 feet at a time. It doesn't make it practical because of the shipping cost. So that's the reason why, like I said, it's got to be a minimum of 100 feet. But if I can break that down into a couple different people, um, I can definitely get this for those that want the RG393. I'm just not a big enough shop to be able to buy 150, 200-foot roll of this just to have laying around. I wish I was, but I don't make that kind of money, especially in the shop. Yeah, that's what I would recommend is actually to put it in wire loom just to keep it looking, number one, keeping it looking nice, but number two, you still have elements that are going to eat anything outside. Another thing you can do, as far as if you want to do it the cheap way, one of the things that I used to do is go to the Dollar General store. Buy the cheapest 50-foot hose that they had, cut the ends of it off, and run the coax uh, through the garden hose, and then run it up the tower. Just to keep the UV light and the general uh, weather off of the coax itself. Um, that was probably one of the best ways I found to do it at an economical price. Hello, JR, Mr. Hillbilly. I guess your ears were burning because I just was talking about you here just a second ago. Yep, that works too. Yeah, 213 for the money is definitely hard to beat, Mr. Carlock. I'll grant you that. That's what I've got on the. That's what I've actually got on my Mr. Coiler that I'm using. Nope, not bad. Like I said, I just wanted to spend a few minutes with you guys here, but and try to get back with you. Like I said, so many different people trying to get back with them and trying to go through different videos and what have you. I just figured that, like I said, I'd make this video, and that's the reason why this has been out here, where you guys can contact me. You can call in the evenings, but it's best to just send me a text message, and then let me get back with you. Plus, that way I can go back and put in the information that you need. But like I said, I've got retail prices, as far as for the RG316, based on, how much you're wanting to buy, because I'll have to set that up as far as on the wire counter when I go to do that. But now that I've got the prices figured up as far as on the RG316 that I got in, and the, uh, oh, shoot, the silicone wire, which now I went through and read the description and stuff a little bit more on that. Um, and the reason why that silicon wire, for those of you that were on my Patreon page seeing it, um, the silicon wire actually has nichrome in it. Which, now for those of you that don't know what nichrome is, it is a mixture of nickel and chromium. And what that's used for is for extreme current and extreme high temperature. So that's the reason why you can actually bend it and it'll keep its shape to a certain degree, is because of the content that's in there. So, I mean, it's still tinned where you can solder to it and everything else, but it's got a percentage of nichrome in it, which makes it, where you can actually draw insurmountable amount more current through it. So, I get through a couple of builds here, or repairs, I should say, because I've got two 16 pills that I've got to get built, or repaired rather. I should say built, but repaired. And I've got two power supplies that I got to get taken care of. One is almost built. I've just got to do one little thing to it, and it's done. And then I've got about a 400 amp that I've got a big build for Hillbilly. We've got to upgrade him to a bigger power supply for what he's got. So we're going to be building him one, probably from scratch. So, I've still got to do that, but I know he's not in a super huge hurry. Like I said, I've still got to get three made boxed up. I'm going to work on that tomorrow whenever I come out here. A piece of good high wattage 75 ohm. Um, Actually, how long a piece do you need, Hillbilly, if you're going to use 75 ohm coax? I actually have some left that is out in the garage. It's Three Mates' favorite color. It's orange, but I have I do have some of that that's actually on hand out in the garage because it's industrial grade. LMR, I pass. LMR, the LMR coax. Um, the LMR coax is really and truly designed for higher frequencies than what we're using them for. Um, the LMR coax has got its place, and the LMR 400, for example, which is probably one of the most common, it is really, really good coax. However, it's designed primarily for if you're running, 400 megahertz and above. That's really what it's designed for. Not that it's necessarily a bad coax, but for what we're doing, the lower frequencies, your center conductor, because the uh, inside dielectric is, well, it's just too soft. Once it starts heating up, your center conductor can actually fluctuate and move inside there. So need help with this four element quad. Okay. Hello, Ruben. Okay. Um, if you know what length you're going to use on it, like I said, there's a couple different ways that you can redo those quads. If you do use the 75 ohm for the feed on that, like I said, I do have a piece that should be long enough to do that because that's what I originally bought it for. Um, you know, from what I've seen and from everybody that I've talked to with the cubicle quads, it's not necessary, but you can use it. So if you're interested, let me know, and I'll hook you up with that. I'll keep that back for you, Jr. But anyways, guys, so we got about 20 minutes here before 9, and I think what I'm going to do is go in there real quick and pack me a lunch so that I don't have to buy anything from the vending machines. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Like I said, I just wanted to touch base with you guys. Like I said, there was just too many people to try to go through all the different messages and figure out who was what and where. So, I mean, that's the main reason why, like I said, I went ahead and come out here and wanted to spend some time with you guys so that I could hopefully get back with everybody. That's the reason why I did the one the other day, as far as literally on my way out the door. Um, like I said, I was up, the day before yesterday for a 24-hour period between filing paperwork, trying to get the boy a new car or a good used one so he could get back and forth to work, try to get a nap in, and then go back to work. So, like I said, it's been very, very trying. And like I said, I know that there's a lot more coming up, especially going into Christmas. I had one order that I shipped out, and we've got good night, John Boy. His package has been floating along because of the holiday season, and that's the reason why I really hate shipping anything, especially something expensive. So I made sure that I added extra insurance to his. Um, I haven't got a call back yet to see whether or not he's got it yet, but yeah, it's kind of made me leery as far as sending anything of any value through the mail as far as during this month, with the holiday season. So, thankfully, his radio's packaged good, but the Turbo 4600, the brand new one that I had, that one is sold. I've still got to try to get everything taken care of because I've got some guys over in Hawaii that I want to try to get some gifts sent over to them because they've got a break coming up, I think, in January. So it's either January or February. So I'm going to try to get their stuff ready and get it shipped out by Christmas as well. So, like I said, just a lot of little things going on, a lot of different directions being pulled. But anyways, guys, take care. I appreciate you popping in here for a visit. It's been good visiting and chatting with y'all. Like I said, if you would check us out on Patreon, send us a message. Like I said, you can text me here. You can leave messages here, and I'll try to get back with you as quick as I can. The text message works the best just because I can scroll back through those on my phone even while I'm at work. And if I know the price, I'll give it to you right then. But I can go back when I'm in the shop and get you the overall cost for different things. So, all right, everybody, I appreciate it. Take care. Have a great weekend.